computer science here in CUEA. I'm a web developer, full stack web developer, but I specialize in front-end development. And most importantly, I'm your web development lead. So all matters concerning the web and all matters concerning web, I'll be taking you through that. Yeah. So yeah. So today this is the agenda for today's session. This is what we're going to cover throughout this session today. We're going to have an introduction to the web so that we can understand the basics of web development and what tools we use in web development. So today we're only going to focus on the basic tools to develop a web application or rather a website. So we are going to cover HTML and CSS. We are not going to go into deep into the complex of these two tools. We're just going to do an overview of what these two tools entail. So yeah, and lastly, we're going to do a bit of coding today. Yeah, and I'm excited for that. I hope all of you are. And yeah, that will be all for today. Yeah, and after that you can ask your questions. Yeah, and I'll be willing to answer them. So yeah, as I've said, the goal of this session is to provide an introduction to the building blocks of web development so that you can get to understand the process that is involved in developing a web application or rather a website. Let's just call it a website in this case. Yeah, so I hope at the end of this session, everyone is going to grasp something, one or two, about web development, what it entails generally. Yeah. So yeah, there we are, understanding the basics of web development. So this should be your question. You're the one who should answer this. So who can answer what is web development? Someone to tell us what web development is. Yeah, you guys know these things, but yeah, niko hapa kwa chat. I'm waiting for someone to tell us what. Anyone can unmute his or her mic and yeah, tell us something. Tell us what you understand when Hamisi Juma says building web pages and websites. Yeah, that's great. That's actually correct. Yeah, that was Hamisi. So yeah, thank you, Hamisi. Yeah, you are right. Joshua Rwanda, the development of software applications meant to run on a web browser. That's more accurate. Both of you are correct. Yeah. So basically, what web development is, web development is the process of designing, developing, and maintaining of web applications, or rather softwares in this case. So before you start developing or before you start coding a website, but in this case, before you start coding a website, you have to have a design somewhere. So you have to start designing the web application that you're going to build. Let's say a website or something like an e-commerce website. So first have to design the application itself before you start developing. And after you're done developing the software itself, the web application itself, and everything is set, once you deploy it, that is not the end of this process. So the process extends to maintaining of this the product itself. So you will have to maintain the system, because most of the problem that in the software you're building comes after you deploy the web application, or when the users have started to interact with the system. So you'll find a lot of bugs that come out of nowhere, so which is always an inconvenience to the client or the user of the system. So you'll have to keep on maintaining these systems for better functionality. So, what is the importance of web development? Someone to tell us in the chat why is web development important? Why do we develop websites? So yeah, it definitely has some reason as to why we do this. So
I thought you might have a passing interest in
someone generous in the chat.
Coordinates. Where are they? Relax, Harold. I am rusty Russian firecrackers.
Like you can even guess, like mtu a guess. Why do we develop websites? Why do you yourself? Why do you
How about a trade?
interact with websites? That is one reason. Uh, so for us to get a good understanding of this topic. Ama mtumiangi websites. Sharing of information, right. This is good, Anthony. It's important because it allows users to interact and obtain some certain information on websites. Those are great answers. Web development is so crucial, by the way, especially in this digital age of ours, because it ensures global connectivity. By developing these websites, people from anywhere around the world will get to interact and connect and share information. Like I can share information to anyone wherever he or she is. And yeah, that is one reason or one importance of web development. Another importance is it makes information accessible to us or to anyone anywhere in the world. Yeah, so the web in this perspective is a big repository, or a big container in the container of information, where we can access it anytime or anywhere, whenever we need to. So there's a lot of information on the web, by the way, and it's your choice to to use this information to do whatever you want. Like you can literally you can learn over the internet, over the web, because there are a lot of information, there are a lot of resources online, and that is one benefit the web is providing to us. So yeah, other benefits is the e-commerce. You can set up your business over the web because of e-commerce websites. It has enabled online shopping, and made life simpler in this case. So so the web in this perspective operates under this client-server model. This client-server model works in this way. So when you access a website, when you visit a website, let's say, when you visit a website, so the website, when you query the website sends a request to the server. That is where our files are stored. Like, yeah, that is where the website is stored literally. So when you query it via the browser, you send a request to the server. The server processes this request from the client or browser. It processes it, and it bundles it in files. Let's say HTML files, CSS files, JavaScript files, and sends it back to the browser as a response. And that is when you get to see all the contents of the website. So literally, this contents of the website was stored in the server and are processed whenever you send a request to them. That is what happens when you visit a browser, and that is generally what happens in the web. Yeah. So we are going to have a look at the building blocks of the web. And as I said earlier, we're going to start with HTML and CSS. Apparently today we are not going to dive into JavaScript. One, because of time, and yeah, we that will be planned soon. Yeah. So this will be a series of events. So I want us to like move progressively from the basic of web to, as we progress to, yeah, we are aiming to cover even frameworks and software as a service products like Firebase and these things. Yeah, you know these things. So yeah, HTML is the standard language used to create web pages. It provides the basic structure and content of a web page. Yeah, so sorry, I just went to it. I hear guys saying that HTML is a programming language. Is this true? Is this someone to clarify this in the chat? Is HTML a programming language? Someone to sorry, is there some noise in the background? Imelda is saying request Josh Lee to mute his microphone. Oh, I think it's muted. Yeah. So yeah, is you guys bana. Kwani what is HTML? I thought it was a programming language. Why is it not a programming language? And what it is if it's not a programming language? You guys are offending HTML developers here. Yeah, so yeah. So HTML is a markup language. As the name says, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it is the standard language used to create web pages, as you've seen. So it is not a programming language, and yeah, HTML consists of elements that define the structure of a web page. So we are not programming a web page with HTML, but we are defining the structure of a web page. Picture this as let's say yourself, your skeleton. Your skeleton is your HTML. This is a weird example, but yeah, that is literally it. So what defines your structure is your skeleton, and that is, in this case, that is what this is HTML in this case. So it is used to define the structure of our web application or other websites. So yeah, HTML documents they're composed of HTML elements. So I hope you guys can see this small photo I included here. So these are examples of HTML elements. So as you can see, they're surrounded with what is this sign called? Let's just call it opening and closing tags. So yeah, this is how we define HTML elements, and yeah, we use it to create the structure of our web application. We're going to move next to CSS, and CSS, which in full is cascading style sheets. This is a style sheet language used to control the visual presentation of HTML documents. And what do we mean by visual presentations? This is what allow us to apply styles to our elements that we have defined with HTML. So styles such as colors, fonts, and layouts. Yeah, we apply styles to the HTML elements we defined with HTML. So CSS. In CSS we use selectors and properties. Selectors are patterns that match HTML elements, and this is what we use to target specific elements on the web page, literally. So yeah, this is what we use to target or to access the elements so that we can apply styles to them. For example, if you want to apply a style to a paragraph, okay, let me just use an example in the picture I've included here. So if you want to include styles to a button, this is how I hope you can see my cursor. So this is how we target the button. In this case, this button this is a class. We are giving styles to a class with the name button. Yeah, we'll see that much later. So yeah, and properties are the specific styles that you want to apply to the selected element. So after we've selected the element, be it with we've selected it with the class or with the ID or with the tag name, we use properties to assign the specific style to this element. Yeah, so that's it about CSS. Yeah, the fun part is here. So today we are going to design. Okay, we've literally designed it, but to develop this login page. So it's a login page, as you've seen, sign-in page, actually, a sign-in form. Yeah, so this is what we're going to do today. Yeah, I don't expect you guys to code along with me. Okay, if you're fast enough, you can, but I just want you to understand whatever we're doing here. Yeah, just ignore this funny stuff here. Yeah, so wait, let me access my oops. I hope you can see my screen. So we are going to create a new project here. What do we call it? What name should we give it? Let's call it our sign-in form. So sign in form. We're going to use Visual Studio as our IDE. Hope all of us are familiar with Visual What do you guys use? There's some guys code in Notepad, and they're really good at it. So do not judge anyone with his of an editor. So here is a canvas, literally. So yeah, we can. It's going to be a simple or a basic project. So we are going to. Apparently, for some reason, my machine is a bit slow. So please bear with me. Yeah. So going to create a text.html. Is it too slow? If anyone has a question as I'm going on, you can just put in the chat, and yeah, I'll hopefully see it. So we're going to start designing our form, and yeah, some is it a shortcut or something to generate a template, a HTML template. So you just press Shift and exclamation mark. Yeah, my machine is a bit slow, so pardon me. I'm not sure why my machine is misbehaving. Oops. Let me just open it again. Sorry for that. Wow, it's too slow. Just a minute. I want to shift to. So yeah, I hope you can see my screen now. Can you confirm in the chat? Hello, please confirm you can see my screen. Yeah, thank you, JC. So yeah, our project is here. I'm going to try and open it again. I'm not sure what is eating up my speed. Let me close this one. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Melda. Yeah, and hopefully today we are going to deploy our project we are going to make it live, and yeah, Hopefully you can share it with your classmate, your anyone you want to share it to, and show them what we have today. Apparently, I'm not sure why my machine is behaving like this, but let's just give it time and hope it's going to be okay. Just a minute. Doing Joseph. Yeah, this is introduction development, and hence we're not doing any complex stuff. We are just focusing on the basics. That is HTML and CSS. This is literally our first hands-on session on web. So yeah, this is introduction. If you have any questions, you can ask in the chat as we try to start our project. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. I still have no idea why this is happening, but yeah. Oh, I just realized what was um, going wrong. Can I ask you guys for a minute? Apparently, my operating system has issues. Um, just give me a minute so that I can refresh my top. I'm sorry for this, guys. Uh, Hello, I'm back. Sorry guys for that. Kindly confirm you can hear me. Oh, thank you. Sorry for that guys. Yeah, hizi shida zingine ni za watu wa Windows. We are really suffering. So yeah, let's just continue from where we were, hoping it won't bring up issues again. So we were creating our HTML template, and I was showing you guys a hack to create a template of HTML. Wait. Oh yeah, there it is. So that was shift and shift one. Yeah. So it will generate this template. Wait. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah, I'm hoping now you can see my screen so that yeah, we can go on. So yeah, so we're going to start creating our HTML structure for the sign-in form, and yeah, for that we're going to enclose everything in a main div. So div is HTML tag that basically it's a container that holds our stuff. Sorry, man. Just a minute. Um, so this is our main div, our main container that will enclose everything that we are going to be building here. So what do we need inside our div? We need a title to tell that this is a sign-in form. So we're going to normal tags for putting titles or headers are the H1s to H6. So H1, H2, H3. It goes that as it decreases in size. Yeah. So I think we'll do for this. So we're going to name it sign in form. after our header, we are going to, since this is a sign-in form, we're going to put it inside a form tag. So this will be a form, and inside a form we can create the elements that are going to be inside our form. And which elements are these? We'll need where a user can input his or her username and the password. So, and for this input fields, we are going to need a label to show that, to give a description of what this input field does. So we're going to enclose each of these inside their own separate divs. So we're going to put it inside a div and a label to show. We're going to start with the username. And below it, we're going to put the input field where the user is going to input his or her username. So the type of this input field, type is an attribute that specifies what this input field does, like the type of the input that the user will key in. And for this case, it's text. Yeah. Let's just do that for now. We'll do the rest later. So the second div container will be capturing the password and a label to describe what the input field is about. So we're going to start with the label. This label is password. That is Copilot. For anyone who is wondering what is giving me these suggestions, that is Copilot, and it's a really useful tool. You definitely should consider having it, and especially if you're a student. If you're a student, there is a free student package to enable you to access Copilot for free. So Copilot is basically an AI to assist you in whatever task you are doing. So we're also going to capture the, sorry for that. So this input will be of type password, and this you'll see the difference soon. Yeah. So we have our two input fields that we require. To capture all the details that we need to log in. So what happens when we have these two inputs from the user? We'll need to store them to maybe process it and maybe send it somewhere, or respond to the user in whatever way we want to. So this will only be done when an event occurs, and that event will be triggered by a button. So here we need a button element. And this button, let's just say sign in. Yeah, and basically I think we have our structure, and how we can view this. We can view it via this. This is an extension that, okay, if you don't have this extension, you can just download it via this extensions tab. It's called Live Server. So yeah, you can get it and view your development on the live on the server, on the browser, I mean. Yeah. So let's just wait for it to start. and see what we have created so far. Yeah, so as you can see, this is what we have developed. This is what we have created, our sign-in form. Here is our title. As you can see, it's of bigger size than the rest of the other texts. Here's our two input fields, our labels, and our sign-in button, as you can see. So a button by default is meant to refresh the browser when clicked. So as you can see, our form is not styled. It doesn't look that attractive, and that is where CSS comes in. So does anyone have a question in the chat? Yeah, you can feel free to ask your questions. Yeah. So yeah, that is where CSS comes in. We have to style our HTML structure. So to do that, we are going to create a styles.css file. In this file, we are going to link it to our HTML just here below the title. And how we link it, there's a link tag that here is where we specify the relation, and this is a style sheet. So, and I'm going to href it to how we just named our style sheet styles CSS. So for now we've linked it. They are both connected. Our HTML and CSS are connected. So we want to start styling our HTML. So we are going to start by styling our body with the tag name. We are going to access our element with the tag name. So let's just write a simple style here. What style? As we've seen, it's too much on the top left. We want it to position itself in the center. So we're going to use display property and give it a flex value. Flex, and let's see how it not change yet. So HTML comes with other attributes. Yeah, so justify content. We're going to give it a value of center and see if there is any change in our browser. So yeah, as we've seen, our body, since we are giving styles to our body, has moved to the center, and yeah, we want it to be at the center. So justify content is usually used to position the element in the center horizontally, and we also want it to be positioned in the center vertically. So in this case, you're going to use align items. So align item center. Let's see if there's any change. Oops, not yet. I think this is because our body doesn't have a specified height. Let's try specifying the height of our body height. And the height will give it a full viewport height. So let's save and see. Yeah, it moved to the center. That's a bit of good styling. Our HTML sign-in form is positioned now in the center, and that is what we want it to look like. So we are going to remove any margin or padding by default, because as you can see, I've specified my body tag, my whole body to cover the entire viewport height, and still I can when I scroll, there's some spacing that is there. So let us remove all the margin. Let us set it to 0, and also all the padding. Let us set it to 0. When you go back to the browser, sorry, yeah, when now I scroll, it's occupying the entire of the body. Yeah. So yeah, we've styled our body now. We're going to what next? Our div container. We're going to give it a class name of, sorry, yeah, this is how we give names. We give class names to our HTML elements by a class, and then we specify the name itself. So let's just give it a container, a name container, and yeah, this is what we're going to style. Yeah, let's style this. Since we've given it a class of container, a class name of container, this is how we access class names in CSS. So we start by a dot and then the rest of the name, container. So we're going to specify our properties here. As you can see, Copilot is suggesting for me with 20, but no, I don't want that. So I won't press tab. So text align. We want our text to be aligned in the center, because as you can see, all of these are aligned towards the left. So let's try change that and see. Center. Let's save. As you can see, the button, all of these have been aligned in the center. Initially, yeah, they were positioned on the left. Yeah. What is the next element to style? Next element to style is the form. Let's jump right into the form and style this. So since we are going to style this with a tag name, there is no need to put any hash symbol or a dot before it. So form, sorry. So our form, let us just go with what Copilot is suggesting and give it a margin top of that. After that, we're going to style. Sorry for that. Yeah, we have inside our form element, we have two divs here that hold the input fields that are going to capture the username and password. So yeah, because we don't want, because when we type here, we want all these things to be positioned on the left, to be aligned, like when the user inputs his or her details, to be aligned on the left. So let us just put a bit of styling for that. We're going to give this to sorry, class of form group. Let's style that. So form group, we're going to give it a margin bottom of 10 pixels, because as you can see, they're too close to one another. So we're going to give it some margin so that they can, yeah. So margin bottom of 10 pixels, and align the text to left. Text align left. Yeah. So yeah, as you can see, there have been a bit of spacing between the two div, the two what have we called them? Form group. Yeah. So yeah, now this looks good. What next should we do? We don't want our label to be positioned on the left of the input field, but on top of it. Yeah, so we are going to change a few styles for that. We are going to capture the label element itself. Lab, sorry, label, and we have a property called display that we can use to alter the displaying of elements. So by default, it's set to inline block. So everything is going to be positioned in the same line in this case. So we're going to change that and specify that we want this label element to occupy its own line. So the styles for that is display block. Let's see what that does. Yeah, so as you can see, our username is on top of our input field. Yeah, and that is what we want. And let's just increase the size of that text. And by this you can use font weight. These are some of the values that can be given to this property. For us, let's just use bold and see. Yeah, as you can see, our username and password are a bit bold, and yeah, that is quite visible. So after that, what are we going to style next? As you can see, our input fields are too squeezed, like they are too squeezed and thin. We want to change that by accessing that with the tag name input, and we want the width to be 100%. Yeah, and we want some padding in between inside the input field itself. So we just want a little bit of padding. So we're going to 8 or 10 is enough. Let's put 8 pixels. Yeah, let's see how our input fields look like. Yeah, as you can see, this is the desired space that we would want to. Yeah, at least now it looks good. So what else are we going to style? What is not styled here? Let us just check and see. Yeah, I think our button is next. Our button is next. So what have we? Yeah, we're going to style it with the tag name since we have no class name in it. So button. What style should we give it? Let's say needs a bit of padding. It needs a bit of gray is not the color we'd want to have the background color of our button. So let's change those. The padding of it was 15 pixels. Background color. What should be our background color? So there are various ways you can use to specify the color that we would wish to apply. So we can use this hexadecimal values, or we can even like just write the name of the color itself, like let's say green. And as you can see, there are options to that green. Let's choose this one and see how it looks on our browser. That is shouting. Let's put it to green, default green. Yeah, we'll style that a bit later. So we've seen there's a bit of padding, but we don't want the padding to be uniform. We want the padding in the horizontal, in the x-axis, in the x-axis to be more than the padding in the y-axis. So there's a way we can specify that, and here we would 10 pixels for the x-axis and 20 pixels for the y-axis, and let's see how that looks like. Yeah, that looks better. So after that, we're going to, what else do we need to style in our button? We want when someone hovers over this button, we can change the cursor style. So we want the cursor to be something different, like a pointer. So let's see how that works. So we the is it? Let's just write it. Cursor, as you can see, it's suggested here. So we can just press enter and see what that looks like. So as you can see, when I hover over my button, the cursor shifts to a pointer, and that is good practice for user experience. So the font size of our button size, sorry, font size, I want to put it to something like 10 pixels. The pilot is suggesting that we should give our text a color of white. That looks good. Copilot came through handy. Border radius is another property we could give our button. Bo- sorry, border radius. Let's give it a radius of 5 pixels, and this is used to. I'll just show you in a few. As you can see, our edges of this button are not that sharp as they were before. So border radius is a property to style the edges of your element. So, and a button by default comes with its own border. So we're going to remove that, and that looks good. So who has any suggestions what to change, and what can we change in our form basically? Oh, sorry, Manuel. I saw some code where they used 100 dVH instead of 100 dVH. What could be the difference between the? Yeah, I have no idea of this. I've never had, but we could use. Yeah, AI is always here to assist us. So, oops, sorry. So we could ask that question to chat and see what response it gives us. So this is a good practice. Whenever you guys have any queries or any questions, you can raise them to chat, and the time chat is suggesting that DVH might be a custom unit specific to his code, so probably he customized it himself. But that was the response from ChatGPT. Thank you, Tony. That's a good suggestion. We can add a hover effect to our button, and that's a good practice. And how do we go about that? Yeah, this is, so we are going to apply a hover effect to our button. So we first start by accessing the button itself, and when do we want these styles to apply? So we want these styles to apply on hover, So that is how we go about styling the hover effect. So let us try what chat is saying, and Copilot, I mean, and yeah, let's see how that is. Yeah, this is good. This is yeah, our button now looks amazing, and our form generally. So yeah, I think we're done with designing our form. Who has any suggestions to further style our oops, yeah, I just noticed a mistake here. Yeah, sorry for that. You guys could have told me that. Yeah, that was why the header was appearing too close to the label. Yeah. Um, so now our sign-in form looks okay, and yeah, I think we are done with this. Does anyone have any the margin top of the form maybe since it's a, oh, thank you Felicitas, I think it now looks good. So do you want us to deploy our sign-in form in the online? Like, we could do that if you guys want, if you guys wish to. Are you comfortable? It won't take long. Yeah, I promise it won't take long. Just put your opinion on the chat, and yeah, I will respect that. But I'm sure you would want to have a look at what we have done today. Yeah, so Hamisi Juma says, yeah, we can do that. And what we are going to use, there are free hosting providers that makes us that helps us deploy our applications freely on the internet, unlike how others require us to pay loads of and tons of money to just host our static web pages over the net. So we're going to use Netlify. This is what I normally use, and yeah, there are other free providers like Vercel, and yeah, I'm sure there's a good number of free hosting providers. So you can try that out on your own. But for today, we're going to yeah. So here is Netlify. Sorry, here is Netlify, and yeah, we want to add a new site. So there are three options here. Oh my God, we need to create a repository for this. Yeah, we can do that pretty fast. I promise it won't take long. So let's just GitHub. Um, so let's create a new repository, and what name do we give our repository? So this is just a sign-in form. Yeah, so we won't do any description now because we're in a hurry. Yeah, and we're going to create a repository. So yeah, we'll need to let's just do this pretty fast. I'm sure the previous session, which was held by Cleophas took you guys through the basics and essentials of Git and GitHub, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with these commands I'm going to be writing here. So git init, sorry, git init we'll initialize the empty Git repository, and yeah. So after Git init, now Git is initialized in this project of ours. So we're going to track all changes that everything that we've done in our project, and by that we're going to git add dot, and when we check our status, git status, we're going to find that these changes are to be committed. Like, we have already tracked our changes, and now we have to commit them, to save them. I mean, commit them. Um, let's give it a message of sign in form completed. Yeah. So now we can't push our changes to the remote repository because we haven't connected our remote repository. Let's just try pushing that and see what happens. Git push. Sorry, git push. So we have a message that no configured push destination. So we want to push, but Git doesn't know where it's supposed to push these changes to. So when creating our repository, we are given this. This is basically the command we can use to connect our remote repository with our local repository. So as you can see, we've connected them, and what next? You can now push, but with the initial push, we are supposed to specify where the upstream branch. So git push -u is to set the upstream, and yeah, origin main. So this will push our changes. Wait. Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, we are supposed to create a main branch. Yeah, set the main branch to, and yeah, we can redo our push. Yeah, so hoping this is successful. Yeah, as you can see, we've pushed our changes to GitHub. This page, we're going to see this is our project. Project is hosted on GitHub, and yeah, that's a safe home for our project. If we wish, we can delete the entire project locally, but it will still be safe on GitHub. So now we have it on GitHub. Now we can go and try hosting our project. So let's create a new one by importing a. Let me just connect to my GitHub, and yeah. So as you can see here, I just connected my GitHub account to Netlify, and here they're giving me an option to like search my repo. And what did I name my repo? I think it was something like sign-in form. Let's see if it's reflected. Yeah, sign-in form. So here's our repo, and since it's a basic project, HTML and CSS. This is quite simpler, and there's nothing else we're supposed to do, I think. So deploy sign-in form. Let's see if it can be successful. So yeah, site deploy in progress. Let's just do it. Yeah, and it's published. So this is the URL they've given us. And here goes our sign-in form that we've created today. This is now the link that you can use to access our website and that has been given to us for free. So yeah, that is quite simple. You guys can try deploying your project, and yeah, probably someone can test this on his side. And yeah, you can probably even share the link to everyone. Oh wait, I should have put a footer uh, on the bottom part of the sign-in form to say that this was developed by GDSC CUEA, but yeah, mm, that is it. Yeah, we have successfully deployed our project, and uh, yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, so I'm going to wind up this session. Where were we? We just concluded our hands-on coding signing form, and sorry, let me just present this. Yeah. So and yeah. So tips on web development. As you can see, our young guy here is telling you guys to practice, practice, practice. That is the only way. The best tip I would give you guys, because practice and continuous learning helps you sharpen your skill, and you at the end of the day you come to master your craft progressively. So the only way to beat this is by practicing, and yeah, trust me, this really plays a good. Yeah, so I have some resources here for you that you can use to further your knowledge in development. Uh, Usingoje to live like this session, the next live session. Make an attempt and visit this cool resources, cool schools actually. And the most important resource is ChatGPT. ChatGPT should be your best friend at this point, because yeah, you can really learn a lot from ChatGPT. Personally, I have learned. I always learn a lot. I make sure each and every day I learn from ChatGPT. Whenever I have a question, a burning issue, I have no one uh, close to answer that question. I reach out to ChatGPT to answer that. The next resource is Free Code Camp. These are really good resources. By the way, each and every one of you should try these resources. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with all this, by the way. And yeah, I have included links here to the. Let me just wait. I'm not sure if you were seeing my screen. I'm sorry, guys. Um, why can you get the notes? Um, yeah. So, Dwayne, I think I'll share. How am I going to share this? It's a PowerPoint slide. I'm thinking of how I'm going to share, but I can just share it on the group if you're comfortable. Uh, yeah, I wish I could have had like a link to this, but yeah, I'll just share it after the lesson. Sorry, I thought you guys were seeing my screen, but yeah, apparently not. Yeah, I think. Sorry. Sorry. A bit of technical things I did on my laptop. So yeah,
Phone zangu
where are
network
we?
ilikuwa hapo.
Sorry, is there someone saying something? Yeah, so these are the resources I had for you. These are links actually. So I would want you guys to probably have a copy of this slide, and yeah, access this awesome schools we have online. Mm. Yeah, you can really learn a lot from this. So yeah, question and answer. Anyone with a question, feel free to ask. Let me check. You can share on the group. Yeah, definitely I will share this on the group.
Ati?
Um,
Ati nini ya? Mm.
yeah, I will share
Mm.
this in the group. Mm, yeah, you. Thank you so much, Anthony. also for your presence here. I really appreciate that. Yeah, but anyone with a burning question, probably you can. This is the right time to answer that. Yeah, and also you're free to unmute to ask your burning question.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can.
No.
Go
So
on.
from the question I asked about DVH,
Okay.
according to CSS rules, DVH stands for, I think, dynamic viewport height.
Okay.
It was, I'm not sure when it was created, but it was made so that it adapts for mobile phones, I think. Yeah.
Wait, so the default viewport height is only specified to desktops and above.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay.
So
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. At least I've also learned something today, and same as to others. Thank you for that information. I will do more research on that. Thank you, Emmanuel.
welcome.
Anyone else with a burning question? Sorry, this session took too long because of my technical issues. I apologize for that. And yeah, since there is no question, I think kabla nifunge nani ako na story? Kuna mtu ako na story? Story. Anyone with a burning story? Sawa. I would like to, before ending this session, I would like to thank all of you for joining in this session and being part of this learning experience. I really appreciate that. And yeah, I can't wait to meet you again and learn a few other stuff. Oh, probably the next time you're going to meet, we're going to do form validation. Okay, we are going to receive data via our form that we've just created, and we want to do something with this data. So we are going to introduce JavaScript and yeah, do some form validation. Yeah, JavaScript is fun, guys. I can't wait for the next session. Yeah, and ukisikia tu tumekawia sana, just shoot a text on the WhatsApp group and say that ask if we could have a session on that. Yeah, so thank you all for being part of this. I really appreciate this, and yeah, see you guys. Fellow Ella, what's the WhatsApp group? Okay, we have a GDSC CUEA WhatsApp group. You can just hit me up. I could add you if you're not in the group. So this is my WhatsApp number. Wait, am I confirming my number? Yeah, so you could just text me and I can add you in the group. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you for sparing your time during this session. Yeah, it was nice to have you guys. See you next time. Bye.